All right, all right, all right. Thanks so much for joining us. This is JB and Tell, and we are the
Gen
Gen X
X
gentlemen. Gen
gentlemen.
X gentlemen. You said it too
Yeah.
quick. All right, so we're gonna get that. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna get that intro in at one point. But we are the Gen X gentlemen. I am JB, and that is Tell, and we're here with you again. Thanks so much for joining us. How you doing, Tell?
I'm doing well. How about
Yeah.
yourself?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good, my brother. I'm looking forward to this one because
Yeah,
you taking the lead on this, bruh. This is you all over it, man. So
getting
let's
ready,
get in
sucking my teeth.
let's get into this. If you see the thumbnail, you see the title. We're going to be talking about basically a woman. This is shout out to Raul. This is one of Raul's
Yeah,
um his podcast, which is
please act right.
Please Act Right, and we're going to review one of his videos depicting the same woman who is talking about how she thinks men are regarding getting with or having dating foreign women, women from another country.
Mhm.
And turns out there's a little surprise in this one based on how many he saw her in another video that he kind of depicted. So we're gonna let it play, and we'll
Okay.
talk about it. We'll talk about it on as we go along. So I'm gonna bring this in right now, and here we go. We're gonna play this out. Let's see. Without further ado, here's the video.
This is Raul of Please Act Right. When men say they're getting them a foreign woman, they mean they want a poor woman who has no choice but to submit for survival, says this chick right here. Check it out.
When men say they're going to another country to get a foreign woman, what their code word is, they want to control somebody. They want somebody poor that they have power over. See, men who talk in code like this really are weak men because, see, they don't like the fact that a woman can be on.
Okay, I got the high sign already from Tel. Okay,
She's already triggered me.
let's go. Let's go.
How would she know what men are looking for when they go to another country? They just
Hmm.
may want more variety or just don't want an American woman, and that's
Hmm.
their right. Why would she get offended if a man wants to go find a woman in another country? And what men are she talking? Well, what men? Who is she referring to? What race of men? I
Hmm.
would say more than likely darker melanated black men.
Hmm.
Um, why would she just off the cuff want to insult? We can have preferences. Women do. They have a list of standards. We traditionally, most men do not even, whether it's a modern man or the traditional man, we don't have a host or list of standards. If we have a list, it might be 4 to 5 things max. I probably top it out at 5 things max. I'm one of the more particular men in society. So again, we can have standards, we can have preferences because they sure do exercise their preferences and speak on it all the time. Women like her, that I can say fully. So let's continue on a little bit more, and I'm going to raise my hand when I want to stop so that I can really go in on this chick.
Sounds good.
On the same playing field, making the same money, making the same boss moves. So what they really want is a woman who is subservient because she has to rely on him for survival. So when they want to say, "Oh, they treat me better, they cater to me better,"
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, a woman should be submissive to her man, and subservient is nothing wrong if we're not forcing her, if she's doing it of her own will. There's nothing wrong with being subservient to your man, to being submissive to your man if he's the provider. What men don't want, modern, old school, are boss chicks or masculine, do it yourself independent women. We don't want that. Most of us, some of us do. The simps who are sorry, who don't have any ambition or masculine drive in them. But most men who are successful or who are just successful at being average men, working class men, most of them want a submissive, subservient woman. We don't want a woman who's a boss chick. That's bullshit. Continue.
Is it because they have to, because they feel the need to, because they have to survive, because you got the money and you got the status and the power? Or is it because they really love you? But see, you weak ninjas rather prefer an illusion and a delusion and think somebody is catering to you because they love you and think.
Why is she going with a shame insult?
Mm-hmm.
Automatically calling these men weak men. Why would you do that? That gets you nowhere. So she's automatically offended because there must be something more behind this than we know.
Mm-hmm.
She's not a bad looking sister, so she should have a bunch of guys flocking to her. So what is she getting triggered for? Maybe she's trying to go for all the ballers, and maybe she doesn't qualify. I'm trying to figure out why she's so upset. She's a good looking woman. She should have a plethora of men pursuing her.
Right.
To just get so bitey and nasty, and it just be basically berating men, saying that weak men. Nah. See, if I was to start qualifying or talking about the things I don't like a lot of American sisters or American women doing, period, and start calling them weak, or I wouldn't even say weak. I'll call them masculine. I'll call them butchy for the way that they're acting, like how she's acting. It's unattractive. It's totally unattractive. Let's continue.
Think somebody is actually with you because they want to be with you, when the reality of it is they just using you and pretending. But you okay with that because you feel like you getting your needs met. But really, are you? Maybe she got that side. Maybe she's using you for all that you got, but you're happy because she's smiling in your face and fixing.
Okay. So again, this is a masculine broad. She wants to say maybe because she got that side dude and using you. No,
Yes,
she's trying to compare herself in a masculine tense, put women in a masculine tense.
I think she said side D as opposed to dude. I think
Right.
she side.
Well,
yeah.
There are women all over the world who are players, but I don't think they come close in the numbers as in America, because America is a transformed culture of modern women, feminist women. There are in other countries. Europe, England has a strong second to us because they're directly influenced by our culture. They're very westernized. However, I still think there's a higher percentage here than over in England, but I would say England has a strong amount of what I've observed in the last several years. Now she's up there saying because he is, well, what did she say exactly? Because the guy is afraid that she's going to use him up, or
that the person who he's dealing with over there is going to use them for their money, or she may
and
have
American broads don't do
side.
that.
She may
American
have a side.
women don't do that.
Well,
they do that. They judge you based on what you have first, if you qualify.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I dated a chick several years ago, back in 2012, and she was doing well, 6-figure income. I think she was like a radiologist or a lab technician or something of that nature, but dealt with radiology, and independent. She was only about 28, 29. No. She must have been about 30, 31. And she was bitter with men. Her dad and her mom I don't know if her dad was ever married to her mother, but she was against her father. Because I was wondering why she had that independent mindset. Needless to say, it did not work. We went out maybe once or twice. I want to say we went out once. It didn't work out. And when I told her, I started basically at that point where I was at a stage where I had it up to here with these masculine, independent women. I told her, a lot of brothers are starting to go, and this is back in 2012. A lot of men are starting to go overseas because the women are more cooperative. There's too much that we have to bear over here. And then she started saying, well, she had the same type of info as this woman, ready to spew at me that, oh, well, they only want y'all over there for your money. And this, so, bitch, don't y'all want us for our money too? We don't even, if we're not even making money, that believe me, she was making 6 figures. I was barely making 5 figures. I knew she had already put me in a box to friend zone me. By the way she was acting, she even, trust me, she made a lot of comments that let me know it was going to go nowhere. But she kept me around because maybe I was still attractive enough that made her ego feel, because women love attention. Remember, attention of women is like sex for men. They feed off of it. It gives them a rush to get attention. That's why they love having gay male friends or gay male best friends, because they're getting the attention and being able to talk to a man, even if he's very feminine. So this woman here, she is a gold digger. She is and if she's making good money, I don't know, but she's a gold digger. And you can't sit up there and say that men want women they can control if you don't know that for certain. There's too many different scenarios, but continue.
See some dinner. Oh.
Now, before I get into this video, I did a video a while ago about a divorced woman with 4 kids that said the new man should pay for her 4 kids that she had by some other man. Let me play a little bit of that.
That's the same chick.
This is the ignorant mentality that I speak about. This type of man is a low value man. He has no purpose, nor does he know who God created him to divorce. To make a comment to say, how does it benefit you to raise somebody else's kid? How does it benefit for you to cash someone else's kid? Shows that you have no emotional intelligence. You have no intellect. Okay? Because see, the reality of it is, we're.
How are you going to insult someone again? First of all, she's not even making sense to say that a man who doesn't want to raise somebody else's kid has no intelligence, no sense of intelligence. That doesn't even make sense what she's saying. She's trying to justify and rationalize because she wants somebody to be her baby's stepdaddy. That makes absolutely no sense. She is ignorant here. She does not know what she's saying. If you're not willing to take care of some other man's kids, you have no purpose. That's what she's saying. So the purpose, so here it is. She is sharing to the world, men are only good for being used for money. And even if I make my mistakes, or women make mistakes and have children with another man, or men, period, that there should be a man, the next man's supposed to step into the plate and willingly to take the stepdaddy role and willingly start putting out the money and taking it. It's like it's a mandate. Who in the hell does she think she is? That's why this trifling trick is in the position she's in. Continue.
We're all God's creatures. If you are in love with someone, you embrace their children as if they're yours.
Yep, this is the same chick. So if you haven't seen the video that I did a while ago in its entirety, I put the link in the description box below, and it'll be at the end of this video. So in this video, she's saying that a man should pay for a woman's kids, 4 of them that she had by another man or men, because it's his purpose. But in the first video I showed, she says that men just want to control women because he has money and she's poor if he goes for a woman in another country. Now, in both these scenarios, aren't the men coughing up money? See, as long as you're coughing up something for her and the scenario benefits her, she's down with it. But as soon as a man decides he wants to go to another country where she does not benefit from it, now here comes the shaming and the insults. Typical genetically modified female.
When men say they're going to another country to get a foreign woman, what their code word is, they want to control somebody. They want somebody poor that they have power over.
Now, I can't speak for all males, but I can speak for all men. And there is a difference. Men are not looking for a woman to control. We're looking for a woman who is already in control. A woman who knows a man's place and expects him to play that role. And in return, she knows her place and she's going to play her role. When a woman is in control of herself and plays her role, there's no need for a man to control her, as she puts it.
See, men who talk in code like this really are weak men, because see, they don't like the fact that a woman can be on the same playing field, making the same money, making the same boss moves.
A woman on the same playing field and make the same boss moves that a man makes, it doesn't become a problem until she makes it a problem. which is what happens with most modern day women. Once these modern day women start making a lot of money, they step out of their role and into the man's role. And that's when the majority of them become uncooperative and competitive in the household. And no heterosexual man wants to come home to a woman who acts like a man.
So what they really want is a woman who is subservient because she has to rely on him for survival. So when they want to say, oh, they treat me better, they cater to me better, is it because they have to? Because they feel the need to, because they have to, or is it because they really love you?
It's because they hold traditional values of the way things used to be in this day and time. In other countries, women value their men, unlike today's genetically modified females. Some of my subscribers are women, and I can tell they don't think on the level as these GMO females. Their comments show that they value men, like the women from other countries do. Unfortunately, the women who don't value us men outnumber the women who do. And that's why men are looking to other countries for women companions.
But see, you weak ninjas rather prefer an illusion and a delusion and think somebody is catering to you because they love you and think somebody is actually with you because they want to be with you, when the reality of it is they just using you.
You mean like in the other video when you said a man should pay for your 4 kids that you had by another man or men?
And pretending. But you okay with that because you feel like you getting your needs met. But really, are you?
If she's playing her role, yes, we're getting our needs met.
Maybe she got that side.
Notice she went for the worst case scenario if you marry a woman from a poor country. I wonder if the women in this country have some D on the side.
Have you ever cheated?
Yes, I'm going through a divorce right now for it.
How'd you catch him? You don't mind me asking.
No, I did.
Oh, you cheated.
I did.
Now, she would have a point if the women over here didn't already do that. She's acting like this never happened with the women in this country.
Maybe she's using you for all that you got.
Let's see. What are the statistics if you marry a chick like this one in this country? I'm sure you already know the drill. 50% of marriages end in divorce. 80% of those divorces are initiated by women. The law is in the woman's favor 98% of the time. She gets half your income, half your 401k, and you have to pay child support until those children turn 18 years old. Now, once again, she would have a point if those statistics I just read wasn't happening in this country, but they are. But of course, she's not going to mention that the majority of men in this country who end up in divorce that have a decent income are already being railroaded by women in this country.
But you're happy because she's smiling in your face and fixing you some dinner. Oh.
Now we know where she's getting that from. Richie Mack from Zoom to Thailand. You know, the video where he's showing his girl Elle making him breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Here's what she hasn't taken into consideration about their situation. Richie didn't bring her back here to the United States. He stayed there with her in Thailand. So what do you think the chances are she's going to cheat on him when she's living in a poorer country and he's got her living with him basically in a penthouse with a swimming pool? Man, if she had some dude on the side, she'd be the biggest fool in Thailand. Especially if she goes for another man that has more money, thinking that he's going to automatically treat her as well as Richie's treating her. I don't think Elle is that stupid. Now, we already know. You run the risk of being used by a woman from another country if you marry her and take her to your country. Because chances are, as soon as she starts listening to GMO females like this chick, she might turn into one of them. That's why you see a lot of guys move to the woman's country and stay there with her. Here's a question. What does it say about today's modern GMO female that a man is willing to move to another country just to get a woman who is peaceful and cooperative? Let that sink into your spirit for a minute. While she's spewing all this nonsense, men like Richie are over there happy and content while she's single and probably will be for the rest of her life. I mean, seriously, I bet this GMO female is still single. That's why she's on her social media talking about this. She can't find a sucker she's looking for to secure the retirement plan that she wants. Men going to other countries for women should not bother a woman who already has the man she wants. Or is it that the man that she wants told her no, and that he's going to another country
You want me to
because
stop?
she's not worth his time? Seriously, what self-respecting man?
Okay.
He said a lot of things that speak to what I was going to comment on anyway. Anybody with common sense could see this woman is bitter.
Mhm.
She's not having good experiences because, again, she's attractive. All right. So she's not in control of herself and she's not conducting herself correctly. She's being very masculine with how she's spewing things. Look at her mocking and making fun of men and the men who choose to go over there. All the what's with the character faces and the voices and of that nature? That's petty. That's childish. What she's doing. This is a woman who's been scorned. She's bitter, and this is her way of spewing back. And all she is regurgitating is masculine, independent woman mentality. But she's alone. She's bitter and she's alone. A happy woman who's attractive wouldn't even have a need to come on and voice these opinions. But she's clearly the epitome of the modern independent woman.
Okay. All right. So, do you need to go any further, or can we leave it at that, or
we can
do you
leave
wanna
it at
share?
we can leave it at that. She said enough,
Mhm.
and our boy Raul has said enough as well.
Yeah. Shout out to Raul, man, because he really did break this thing down, and he noticed that she was the same person that had those 4 kids some time back. So
Yes,
he did his due diligence in terms of finding this information out.
she changed up her look a little bit, put a lot of makeup on, trying to make herself try to sexualize herself a little bit more, because she's on the prowl, she's on the hunt, and she's getting disappointment after disappointment. Because I could tell you first, without knowing her, she's going for men with money because that's all she was speaking about. And it's not just
Mhm.
men with money that are going to these other places; it's working class men.
Mhm.
But shit, when I
What
say
what
men with money,
but what happens when, I mean, like, you have 4 kids under 18? I'm pretty sure this is based on what he's saying. 4 kids under 18,
right?
and you are literally just talking about. I'm assuming that just maybe somebody in her purview with who she tried to date, or maybe who was dating her, decided to not be with her and go overseas and get with somebody, or maybe just maybe it was her ex who decided to do that. Leave her there with the kids, and he was out, and then married somebody else, or got with somebody else who was from another country. Maybe that's where
Well,
her bitterness comes from.
either way it goes, you can tell her intentions. She's been gold digging for a while. She's
Mhm.
probably been going for top guys. Maybe she doesn't have 4 children with just one man. Maybe it's with a few men. Maybe it's 2 or 3 men.
Mm,
You
that's even
understand?
worse. Yeah, that's even worse.
It could be more. It could be 2 men. I'm going to give her the
Mhm,
benefit of doubt and say if it's
mhm.
multiple men, it's just 2.
Right,
Who knows? Um,
right.
either way it goes, I don't care how good you look. Men don't want women with children. Most self-respecting men, unless they have children and it's a certain stage of life, but men under 40, men, maybe some even men under 50, they don't want women with kids because it's an obligation that they, especially if they don't have kids themselves, it's an obligation you don't want to have to deal with.
Right.
It's not fair. It's not fair if you build, especially a man who's built himself up, who's worth 6 figures or more. You worked hard to make yourself this man, this high value man, as they
Mhm,
say. And why should I be committed or obligated to taking care of a woman who's got kids? She had her fun. Women have their value. Their value is assigned to them from the day of birth. Their
right.
beauty is their primary value. Not to say that intelligence doesn't fare into it, but their beauty, that's what we look for. That's what
Right.
attracts us.
Mhm,
So when you squander it away or foolishly misuse it on other men because you did not manage things correctly and figure out your objective for your future and you end up having 1 kid, you've already lost a point, maybe even 2 points, because
mhm,
that's a burden to most men. That's a
mhm.
burden
Yeah.
unless it's the man that you made the baby with. And that's where their mothers should have taught them, and their fathers should have also taught them if the fathers are in their lives in some way, shape, or form, whether it's they're married to the mother or just
Right.
um, they have access to see them. So
Mhm,
these women are coming from more than likely bad mothers and some bad fathers.
mhm,
And we have plenty of that. We have plenty of that. This is a
mhm.
prime example, America, of parenting gone wrong when you have products of women like this who are very attractive to the unattractive ones that have that mentality, who want to
Mhm.
contest and try men and test their manhood and say, oh, when a boss chick is making as much. No, as a matter of fact, we could care less how much you're making. You become less appealing to us, your degrees and your income, because our purpose is to take care of a woman who is on her purpose. meaning feminine, fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, agreeable, not argumentative, masculine, and competitive. Why are you competing with us? You're different than us. We're not competing you to run to the makeup counters. We're not competing with you to wear swimsuits. We're not. Let a woman should be a woman, and let a man be a man, and stop trying to compete and be men. See, that's where these modern American women, these westernized women, period, where they go wrong.
There's probably a little jealousy there too. I mean, because I would think that the fact that she's talking about these men who choose these women from other countries, there's a lot of jealousy. She maybe wish she can do the same thing, and or again, she was done wrong by somebody who might have been from another country. We don't know. It's a combination of things, don't you? I mean,
I think she's speaking on behalf, because there is an enormous amount of men, and I would have to say maybe the last 5 to 10 years, that are fed up of this mindset. And definitely more is closer. It may have started about 10, 15 years ago, but in small numbers where it doesn't impact the dating scene as much here. That would go over there and look for women. But I would say definitely within the last maybe 10 years or less, 5 years for sure, more and more men like myself are sick and tired of this mentality of these feminist, masculine women, these independent women. And yes, I do want a woman from overseas, because when I choose to date my sisters or any American woman, and they all have this mentality, who's going to deal with who wants to deal with that? I don't.
Well, we'll probably speak on your situation at another time in terms of how but you have expertise in this matter. We'll probably we'll probably go through another video that will allow us to learn more about how that works. But for the most part, your value in terms of what this is, because you yourself know from experience, and there's something that we'll be able to talk about and touch on, because there's a lot of truth to what both you and Raul have said when it comes to why she's so angry about men going overseas, because they're overseas for a reason. They're over there for a reason. They're not just there, whatever.
I'll tell you why she's so angry, because they are not getting the attention anymore. We're more scarce now. We are taking the trip. We are saving up. They are upset that they can't bully us. They can't manipulate us to their bidding, to spend up a bunch of money on them foolishly. They're not thinking as smart women. They just want you to spoil them and to cater to their every needs. I don't want to do that for the ones who are single without kids, and I'm damn sure not going to do that for the ones who are single with children. It's an ugly, off-putting spirit and mentality and attitude, and this is why more and more men are saying enough is enough, because we are finding a different mentality overseas. And it's not to say it's all, because there are gold diggers who are impacted everywhere, and they have that acquiring that westernized mentality. But I will tell you, there are much more humble women outside of the United States than there are in the United States, from my experience.
I would agree. It's been a long time since I've been to one of the countries out there, what have you. But whenever I did go overseas, they were a lot more. They had a different attitude, and they enjoyed being with you and around you. And when my last going-ons, I was in South America, and I was a rock star. So who would want to be a rock star? Who would want to be a rock star when it comes to,
especially when you work hard? It's good to not have to work hard and then have to work hard again with difficult women who are playing tug of war and who are making you have to jump through hoops to impress them. Wait a minute. I'm taking you out, and then you acting like I have to impress you. If I'm decent enough for you to go out with, why are you making it difficult? Right. It's supposed to be a pleasurable thing. But these women are so cantankerous to a certain degree, like she is, combative and argumentative. They're making it an unpleasant experience. And that's how the modern dating has been in the last 10 years or more. I know for me, it's been like that in the last 15 years. It's an unpleasant experience here in America, the United States. And it's because of women like that and other types that make it so ugly that enough is enough. I want to go where if I work hard 5 days a week, sometimes 6, 7 days, and I want to have just to release, to enjoy the pleasure of a woman, the company of a woman, much as a pleasure. It shouldn't have to be another painstaking task like another job that I begrudge. So I'll go where women act more feminine in their nature of the olden days, and I'll be glad to spend money on a woman who is not out trying to judge me and gold dig from me. Like she claims they're trying to gold dig. No, that's just a shaming tactic because she can't get to gold dig anymore. And she can't get to really get into the pockets of these men and get them to do her bidding. Those, I'll tell you what, the experiences I've had overseas, those women actually, their energy, their mind, because I'm not stupid, they make you want to spend on them. And it's nice when you could go on that first date, they're attracted. They'll give you a little something because if you treat them well, all they want is a man to treat them nicely and well, which is nature. And if they're attracted enough to go out with you, then they're not going to hold back on the nookie like a lot of the women here do. The women here will hold back and make you go with the stupid 90-day rule, or if you have to spend so much on so many dates, then they'll decide to give you some. They act like their pussy is gold, bro. It is not gold. There's too many women. Wake up call for all these broads. Women outnumber the men in the world, much less the United States. And the number is something actually astronomical, around maybe 7 or 8 to 1. So how is that thing between her legs more precious than what's between ours? There's more of that. That's an abundance. We can get that. There's a lot of good-looking women. We could go buy it. We could pay for it anywhere here in the United States, much less anywhere else. No, we're looking for more than that. And so why should we have to pay top dollar and deal with the nasty, funky attitudes? It's a turnoff right there. And a lot of guys who settle for that in the last several years are they're looking pathetic. You're settling for way below what you can actually do better with. And it's not a bunch of debt. There may be some poor women that are desperate over there, but that's not the impression I got when I dealt with the individuals I've dealt with.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, that makes sense just based on the how you're treated, and most of us want to be treated respectfully,
Right.
Nicely, be appreciated, the whole nine. So if men who want to date women who are overseas, they get more of that, and that's what attracts them to them. Why not? Why not try it out at least? And if they're not getting that type of reaction here in the United States. So, but we will talk about it. We've gone over the mark, way over our mark, but we will talk about this again. You have a great expertise in this, so there's probably a lot of men who are out there who are going to be listening to us would want to ask you questions and want to get to understand what's it like, what are some of the things that they could maybe look forward to if they decided that they wanted to do that. So the more that we're able to extend this information, and if you have any questions, please comment down below. We would appreciate
my mission is to educate and to encourage men. Get your passports. You need to travel, and it's not just for some like Cancun type of thing or Brazil to go bang up a bunch of chicks or prostitutes over there for cheap. No, there are women of substance quality that are beautiful, and they want to be truly in their femininity, not into feminism. And they are looking for a good man. I know in South America it's a big thing, especially in Brazil. Aside from the sex capades and things that go on there, I'm talking about women who are genuinely looking for a good man. And those women over there know that women outnumber the men. That's why they're acting very humble, a lot of them. Now, I'm not ruling out there are some gold diggers over there, just like anywhere else in the world. But the highest content I would have to say is in America of gold diggers, unrealistic, feminist women who are masculine and independent minded. And then second, I have to say is in England or United Kingdom.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of, wherever you go, depending on what your preference is going overseas. Like Tel said, get your passport. Take a chance. Go to some of these countries that and experience the culture, experience the people, experience the
Hmm.
women, and see exactly what. And you that way you can compare it, right? You get to compare all of that.
It's a big world. Nobody said you had to be obligated to American women if you're American. This is a huge world. Explore all that it has to offer.
Exactly. There's a lot of that where we could take a look at going forward when it comes to these things, man. So um, I have get this. We have an Instagram. Okay, check it. We will be publicizing the Instagram a little bit more, but I just wanted to play
All
with it.
right.
There at the bottom. I think I can put both of them. Yeah, there you go. All right. So the subject today was um, dating women in other countries. We're going to revisit this. This is just one part of it, but we wanted
Yeah.
to review this particular rant from this woman who decided to say, hey, you know what? She thinks that men are, I guess, are trash for dating women and being with women in other countries. So we will come back to that.
She typifies the modern American woman. She really
Hmm.
typifies it. She exemplifies that because that's what I've experienced and encountered in the last 10, 15 years. That
Right.
mentality is being rampant. It's like an infection.
Okay.
I'm not
All
saying
right.
all,
Well,
I'm not saying all American women, but a
no,
high
definitely not.
percentage represent
Def-
her. She
Definitely not.
represents them, I
Definitely not.
should say.
Definitely not. So this is going to be a hot topic. I'm pretty sure. Please comment below. Give us a thumbs up, as well as give us a follow. We appreciate you in terms of how this works. We're going to bring you more of these types of conversations, and we're going to hopefully have guests that have that's similar to Tell, and they're able to give you hands-on experience of what goes on with them dating women in other countries. So we'll
Right.
see. We'll go from there. So anyway, we've gone along over, but hey, we'll look to hopefully you'll come back again and you'll experience our content. We are the Gen X Gentlemen. This is our podcast. We look forward to seeing you again. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe, and comment, because we want to hear from you. Okay. So tell anything else before we leave out?
Nah, just for you few female watchers, hopefully there are some women who are watching this, and I have to say, if you're watching this, you're truly a woman. You're not a chick or a girl. But even the ones who are chicks and girls who are detractors, I hope you do get something from this because if not, you're gonna die alone.
Okay, you heard it from Tell. Don't die alone. All right. All right. This has been the Gen X Gentleman Podcast. We thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. We bid you adieu. Peace.
Peace.